I missed my friends in Portland, and I couldn't miss being in Monterey for my goddaughter's first birthday. And hey, once you're in Monterey, it's only like another 12 hours to Portland. So, with the help of a bike rack and a giant backpack for the roof of the car, we packed ourselves and our junk in and took off. We got to celebrate Aries' 12th birthday at the aquarium.
How's it been so far?
It's been cool.
And the next day was Kina's doll celebration. That's spelled D-O-L, in case you wanted to look it up. I'd planned to get up bright and early the next day to go ahead and get to Eureka and set up camp. But instead, we left a day and a half later and set up camp in the dark at Fort Bragg, which is about 3 hours shy of Eureka. But that just illustrates my most important travel rule. Go with the flow. If you don't, you won't appreciate where you are because you'll be thinking about where you'd wanted to be, and that only stresses everyone out. Wherever you are has plenty to offer, so just enjoy it. Fort Bragg wasn't on the itinerary, but it was lovely, and the path out along the one took us through some beautiful scenery, right to the giant drive-through redwood. I'm waiting to drive through a giant redwood tree. I don't mind telling you, this looks like a tight friggin' squeeze. I'm a little scared. I made it. I drove through it. It was really fun. Just north of the chandelier tree in Piercy, California, is this old-school roadside attraction. We are now stopped at Confusion Hill. Mystery abounds. They've got stuff like the Legend of the Chippelope, and one of those houses built on the side of a hill where gravity doesn't seem to work right. It's a fun little spot. I'm walking on the wall in the Gravity House. This is my personal favorite exhibit in the Gravity House. There are all kinds of odd and interesting tree attractions along the Redwood Highway, and we accidentally stumbled upon one in Scotia, California, just because we were really hungry. So we ended up by the Eternal Treehouse, which was interesting to see, but do not eat there. We paid like $7 for what was essentially an onion sandwich on Wonder Bread. That night, we ended up just north of Eureka in Trinidad. We wanted to pitch our tents before it got dark, so we pulled off at the first exit that offered camping and stumbled upon this fantastic campground called the Emerald Forest. They offer cabins, RV camping, and lots of amenities, but the tent camping is just removed enough from those things so it feels rustic even though you can walk a few hundred yards through the forest and get hot cocoa. Our northward journey takes us past Paul Bunyan and his ox Babe guarding trees and talking to tourists in Klamath, California.
You're probably behind my boot.
And we decide to take a break right before the border. This is the Smith River right inside of the Jedediah Smith State Park, and there's camping with beautiful views of the river, but it fills up fast, so you've got to book in advance. This stop is definitely worth your while, and the park has a lot of the old growth redwoods that are still in California. Check out these old growth trees. After a few hours of tree hugging and swimming, we hopped back on the freeway and finally got to look at the gorgeous Oregon coast. At this point, everyone was starving, so we stopped at Gold Beach to try to find a place to eat, and we found the Barnacle Bistro. We stopped there because I liked the sign, but it turns out the food was fantastic also. Now, as much as I like the idea of just taking my time and going with the flow, I absolutely had to be in Eugene the next morning to meet my friend Megan, because she and I were going to the Oregon Country Fair. So we drove until about midnight, found a cheapo motel room in Coos Bay, woke up early, and hauled butt over there. At that point, I parted ways with Jaime and the kids, and Megan and I enjoyed a fabulous fun time at the fair, which will be an episode unto itself. And we all met up again later for a great time and good food in Portland.